This episode contains discussions of mental health, bipolar disorder, depression, and parental abuse. Listen at your own discretion. It is Thursday, the 29th of August, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. Here we go again with another Daniel Johnston song. This time we're talking about the song Peekaboo from the album The What of Whom from 1982. This is potentially the saddest thing that Daniel ever recorded, so you'll excuse me if I'm fighting back tears in this episode. I'll put the appropriate trigger warnings at the start. This is a song where Daniel talks about his experiences with manic depression, and as such, it's very difficult to listen to, obviously, but it's also very beautiful the way it's presented and the way it sounds. There's also a great cover of it by Phoebe Bridgers. I will definitely be linking that below. The melody of it really suits her vocal style, the melody of the chorus. But we'll get there. We're not there yet. So let's just go ahead and listen to the song and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. Yeah, that's Peekaboo by Daniel Johnston. Oh, Christ. It's a hard one. It's a difficult one to listen to. I recall it not... I don't know what it was. I guess I just wasn't paying attention. I remember I used to listen to Daniel Johnston albums while reading, so I guess I wasn't giving them my full attention. This song didn't make an impact on me until I heard the Phoebe Bridgers cover, and then I went back and listened to it. I was like, holy shit, this is one of his best songs. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't think I have much to say before we just launch into the lyrics, so I suppose we'll do that. I will point out, it kind of gets lost in the mix. I say like he didn't need mixing, but it is guitar and piano. You can mostly hear piano, but there is some distinct parts where you can hear guitar. I think it's interesting that I associate Daniel Johnston more with a chord organ, and I don't think we've listened to a chord organ song yet. Huh. Well, we'll get there. Anyway, when I'm down, really down, nothing matters, nothing does. I close my eyes, go to sleep, but I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Please hear my cry for help and save me from myself. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, he's just talking about being depressed. I mean, like I said, he was bipolar, he had manic depressive disorder. So he's talking about a depressive episode when he's down, really down. He's not talking about being sad. He's talking about being depressed. Nothing matters, nothing does. I close my eyes, go to sleep, but I can't sleep. Insomnia is such a typical issue of poor mental health, and the repetition of it is really, nothing matters, nothing does. Go to sleep, can't sleep, can't sleep. Like, the repetition really drives home how serious this is, and also that it's a recurring problem, you know? And then the chorus just being, please hear my cry for help and save me from myself, is, I think, the real killer of this song, because, like I said, I love the melody. It's a really pretty melody, but this is a cry for help. All of his songs are a cry for, well, not all of them. The Beatles is not a cry for help, but, like, all of his songs are a cry for help in a way, and he details so much about his struggles, and all he got was people fucking taking advantage of him and, you know, making money off him and throwing him in mental hospitals with no care for his well-being. Like, it's such a sad state of affairs, and he's literally saying it's a cry for help, and no one was listening to him. Jesus. Junior high, I lost my mind. I don't know why. It's a terrible thing. Since that day, it's been a struggle trying to make sense out of scrambled eggs. So in junior high is when he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which is early to be diagnosed with that kind of thing. So it's clear how much it affected him throughout his life. Junior high to get diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Holy shit. And he, of course, refers to it as losing his mind, as he always does, like, I had lost my mind. And the it's a terrible thing is an interesting lyric, because it sounds like he's saying, I don't know why it's a terrible thing. Like, who cares that I lost my mind? But someone on Genius was saying that it could be a reference to the ad campaign that said a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And it wouldn't shock me. I mean, he's the kind of person who references things all the time in his songs, and that's from the 70s, and he was born in the 60s. So it wouldn't shock me if he was referencing an ad campaign from his youth, you know? His youth. Like, he wasn't fucking 21 when he made this song. The lyric of trying to make sense out of scrambled eggs seems like a silly thing, but he's talking about his brain or his life, you know? He's trying to make sense out of scrambled eggs. Like, everything is a scramble to him. Everything is a mystery, and he can't make sense out of it. And then you get the chorus again. Then the third verse continues on for quite a bit longer than the rest of the song, so we're going to break it down piece by piece. I painted a bar and I never got paid in a town where everyone was unemployed. I was locked in on Easter Day. All I had to eat was a piece of bread. So, you know, talking about not being able to hold down a job, or a paying job at least. He was homeless for a while and was struggling to eat, especially on Easter Day when it's usually a big feast and all he got was a piece of bread. Then when I got home, my mother said, you're a lazy bum, and that's how come you suffer like that, and you'll starve all your life, all your life. There's so many things about his mom in his songs. Just makes me angry. And this is his mother just feeding into his insecurities, calling him a lazy bum and saying he suffers and he'll suffer and he'll starve all his life because he's a lazy bum. And it's the least helpful fucking thing you could say. This part of the song hits home for me because I know what it's like to have a mother tell you that you're lazy and that's why you're struggling. And it's not helpful. It's not a helpful thing to say. It's not a loving thing to say. And again, the repetition of all your life really drives it home. Jesus Christ. Really drives it home, you know. Spoken just like it was a curse, but it didn't really sound so bad. I like to make things up. It's the healthiest thing that I do. Yeah, expressing your hardship through creativity is a very healthy thing to do, and I'm not being sarcastic. It's a great way of expressing yourself. If you can't talk to other people, putting it into your art is a very helpful thing because it's catharsis, and you can also show people how you feel through an expressive way, through an outlet, you know what I mean? Through your hobbies, which make you happy. And so I like to make things up. It's the healthiest thing that I do. Is so sad because he's talking about how unhealthy he is, and the healthiest thing he does is his coping mechanism of creating art. But I'm tired from being kidnapped by a dark wolf that would do me in. Do me in seems like such an English phrase. It's weird for him to use it, but I assume that the dark wolf here is referring to the black dog of depression, common image. Chorus again, please hear my cry for help and save me from myself. And then we get, I'm just saying how I feel. Maybe you could try to understand. I'm a man who needs you. When I'm down, really down, nothing matters, nothing does. I close my eyes, go to sleep, but I can't sleep. I can't sleep. You listen to these songs, have a good time, and walk away. But for me, it's not that easy. I have to live these songs forever. That's the real tragedy of this and of Daniel and of so many other quote unquote struggling artists. You know, he made his art to express himself and to talk about the struggles he had, and people loved it. I mean, like I said, he wasn't like a massive, you know, stadium touring celebrity, but he was popular. He had a fan base, and there's a lot of famous singers who really like his work and covered his work. And he says you can listen to these songs, and he's talking directly to his fans here. You listen to my songs and you have a good time. You enjoy my music, and that's great. But I can't just stop listening because this is my life. I have to live these songs forever. It just really gets me, you know. What I wrote down in my notes for that, my bullet point was, not anymore, pal, because of course he has since passed. And this is from like his second year of releasing music, and he was already feeling like this. It's so powerful thinking of that in the context of his life. He had to live those songs forever and not just perform them. That's his life. That's how he feels. Especially when he sings that after repeating the first verse. It's kind of solidifying, like, yeah, you can relate to my struggle of feeling depressed and not being able to go to sleep, but I am depressed and I can't go to sleep. And making this song doesn't change that. It just lets people know it's a cry for help. And I want someone to save me from myself. I wanted to do this week because I want to talk about Daniel Johnston, but I'm just fucking, I'm sapped of all my energy now. I don't have anything more to say about it, really. Go listen to the Phoebe Bridgers cover. She did it live, and then she did a version on Honey, I Sure Miss You, which I haven't watched yet. I've watched her cover. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I really need to. It's an hour-long, well, almost hour-long, sort of movie on the Daniel Johnston YouTube channel that was released after he died. That's just a compilation of people covering his songs, and it's great. Well, I say it's great. I haven't watched it yet, like I said, but I have listened to some of the individual covers from it, and they're all good. So anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, I think. Thank you so much for bearing with it. Thank you so much for struggling with me and trying not to cry with me. I don't know if you succeeded. I somehow did, but I came close. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.
And he was making these cries for help that literally said they were cries for help. Shut the fuck up. And is there a fucking match going on? It's a Saturday.